You don't have to be around the life and community of Journey Church for very long to notice that we're not your ordinary church. Since we started back in the fall of 2005, God's been using Journey in spectacular and really quite amazing ways, doing things that only God can do. You hear us say it a lot around Journey. This is God's church, and we're vigorously hanging on for the ride of our lives. Every single day we see the firsthand evidence that God is directing us way beyond our own wisdom, and He's blessing us certainly beyond our wildest expectations. I believe to my core that God's very best is yet ahead for us. Moving into the Commons at Baxter and Love in the fall of 2010 was a defining season for us. Imagine the church that didn't just build itself a church building for church things, but instead built a building and started to develop a campus for the entire Gallatin Valley community at large, and then made it a regular ongoing practice of leveraging that place and that space for the entire community's benefit. Well, around Journey Church, we not only imagined it, but we actually did it. And now we're sensing the Lord's guidance toward what comes next for us. We have no doubt that over the next few years, together, we can make an even greater impact than ever before on our community and on the families of Journey Church. Would you enthusiastically join us on this incredible journey? It won't happen without you.
In the fall of 2005, a few hundred people who were passionate about reaching people who are far from God and growing them up in Christ start to gather on the weekends at Heritage Christian School, and Journey Church is born. Realizing that a ministry campus from which to serve the community would be essential to the fulfillment of Journey's mission, in the fall of 2006, we began to pray, seek land, and raise money for our future campus development. Because we believe to our core that serving the community is integral to the mission of the local church, Journey continued to engage the people of the Gallatin Valley community on their turf. After a couple of years of prayer and land seeking, Journey buys 40 acres on the northwest corner of Baxter and Love Lanes as the future site of our community center and ministry campus. The Commons at Baxter and Love opens its doors to the ministries of Journey Church and to the Gallatin Valley community at large.
Unfortunately, a guest perception of our entire church begins not in here, not in the auditorium. It actually begins in the parking lot. A crowded, congested lot with too few spaces sends a signal to our guests that they're not important to us, which could not be further from the truth. Who could have known that the almost 400 paved parking spaces we built for Phase 1 of the Commons wouldn't be enough to accommodate all of our weekend experience guests? Constructing another 150 parking spaces will allow us to continue to invite our friends, family, neighbors, classmates, coworkers, and know that they will encounter a parking lot that communicates there's room for you at Journey.
As part of our campus expansion, we will construct 3 collegiate class soccer fields to serve the Gallatin Valley community. We're a church that cares about what the community cares about. And obviously, our friends and neighbors care deeply about soccer.
An expanded and more versatile base camp, which is Journey Church's kids ministry and classroom wing, is at the center of the Not Without You initiative. Our current base camp and classroom wing here at the east end of the Commons buzzes with activity all week long. Hundreds of kids, 0 through 5th grade, they learn the Bible in relevant, fun, and compelling ways from upwards of 50 volunteers during Journey's weekend worship experiences, and they're out of room. Celebrate Recovery, which is Journey's Christ-centered recovery ministry, all of our adult classes and Bible studies, small to mid-sized community groups, they gather over here all week long as well, and they require more space than we presently have available. Once we expand this base camp and classroom wing, we'll be able to serve our community in a fantastic new way as we open the doors of a Christ-centered, first-rate, affordable preschool and daycare, aiming in particular to serve the single parents of our community.
Journey Church is compelled by the mission of doing whatever it takes to connect people to God. We also believe that the church, that's us, should be engaged in the ongoing, tangible, and beneficial service to the community. The Commons at Baxter and Love is just one way we've chosen to leverage the resources God's entrusted to our care to accomplish both of those tasks.
Around the community of Journey Church, we're just crazy enough to take God at His word. After what He did at the Red Sea, at the resurrection, and on a whole lot of occasions in between, a project like Not Without You is a piece of cake for our God. I'm asking you today to please earnestly pray, seek God. How is He leading you to be a part of Not Without You?